Okay, so the first thing that you need to know are these measures of central tendency. What? Central tendency? What does it mean? What is tendency? Good. Tendency to do something, so it's like typical? Good. So it's like, and then what does it mean for be central tendency? You want to try that one? You be somewhere in the middle. So if my class average, and this is just random, if my class average was 50 on the test, about half the class did good and about half the class did poor. Yeah. So an average is probably the one you're most familiar with. And another word for average is mean. M-E-A-N, mean. Okay? So especially if you've never heard that before, but I know they do mean, median, and mode at 3 M's in junior high. I know they do that. So this should be a bit of a review. And they use this symbol here. It's like a U with a tail. A U with a tail. And they call that mu. Like a cat. Meow. Mu. So the next thing is median. And for the word median, I want you to think to your driver's training. What's the median when you're driving? Yeah, good. It's along the middle. When you're driving, if I'm on the right side of the road and the car is going the opposite way or on the left side, they're going the other way, what's in between us? Or like that little curb, that sidewalk, there's little trees there. Yeah, that's called the median. So that's a good way to remember that one. That's literally the middle. Middle. Median literally means middle. And then mode, I don't have any way to help you memorize mode, but it's just the most frequent. Like if the average was 50 on the test, but like 7 kids all got like 63% for some reason, that's the mode. Like for some reason 63 kept repeating itself. I don't know, maybe that tells me some information. Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The data below, so that's what's going to happen. You're going to be given a bunch of data, and then you have to calculate these things. We're going to do it by hand at first, but then I'll show you how the calculator does it in like 2 seconds. Okay, so the data below represents the time taken to the nearest minute for a high school student to drive to school on each of the last 10 school days. So this was like me. I used to live around Londonderry, and I would drive to East Glen, so it would take about this much time depending on traffic. So what do you need to do with all this if you want to find the average? Very nice. Guys, I notice with you guys, okay, so let's add all these up and divide by how many we got. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them. So I'm going to take my total and divide by 10. So I'm just going to add all those up. Has someone already done it? 142 divided by 10, and everybody is telling me 14.2? Okay, awesome. I'm not going to waste your time. Now the mode, the one that repeats, Morley's done it for me. 15 is the only one that repeats? Yeah, so 15 is the mode. We divided by 10? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, Hideki, Japanese student. Unit tests in their English and math. Okay. And calculate the median. Okay, median means middle. Before we start, take a look at the English 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is just something I'm going to put on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there a middle number when it's odd? So for odd, it makes sense. But what about for math? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, whoops. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For even, is there a nice middle? Yeah. So we'll have to deal with that. I'll show you how. Some of you already know, apparently. All right. So what you need to find the middle is it has to be ordered. It has to be ordered. So smallest to biggest makes the most sense to me. So let's go 58, 65. Thanks, man. 78, 78. Thank you, sir. And 80. All right, is there a natural middle? 71's a natural middle because it's an odd number of values. There's 3 to the left and 3 to the right. So 71's natural. But for the math 20, it's not so natural. So ordered it for me. 61. Thanks. 74. Thanks, man. Beautiful. 84, 86. Thank you, sir. Oh, I went backwards. Yep. Now, because there's no natural middle, you have to take those two values and average them. You find the average of the two middles. So what is that? 140 plus 1252 divided by 276? 76, good. Did you remember to add them before you divided by 2? Good, 76 is the middle here. Right. It makes sense for this one. Yeah. Yeah, totally. But if it was like crappy decimals and stuff, wouldn't be so easy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that though. Okay, so that one you're going to have to make a little note of. Like if it's odd, like make a note to your future dumber self, because you're going to forget this stuff 2 days from now. Because it's the drone of the going to high school, teacher, you're going to chem, you're going to bio, everybody blah, 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 and you're going to forget this stuff. So make a note to your future dumber self that for the even, you have to do the little trick here by averaging the two. Okay? Now this next one. It says the mean of all this is 7. So 10 plus 4 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus x plus 6, all divided by 8 equals 7. So I just want you to think about that. What did I do? I added up all the data values, and then you divide by how many data values there are. You can count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 data values. So when you add them all up and divide by 8, you should get 7. But what's the problem? What happens with the x? So this is where you do the collection of like terms. I'm going to add up all those numbers. 14 and 7 is 21. 21 and 12, 33. 42, 52. Do you guys agree? Thank you, sir. 52 plus x over 8 equals 7. Now you guys know what to do next. Just yell it out. Starts with a C. Beautiful. Why is it a cross multiply? Because it's like a fraction equal to a fraction, or a fraction equal to a number. You see how the 8 divides both of those? You gotta undo that. How do you undo dividing the left side by 8? Times both sides by 8. So 8 here, 8 here. See you later. And then what do you got? 52. Oh, why does it go to black? 52 plus the x is 56. And then x is obviously x is obviously 4. And then if you wanted to do the algebra on this, if you had to, you would subtract 52, subtract 52. Because this is like a 2-step or a 1-step problem because there's no coefficient on the x. That's nice. Positive 52 on the left is a negative 52 on the right. And clearly, like we said, x is 4. You guys cool with that one? If you study these class examples, like sometimes I wonder, like, what am I doing up here? Because we go through all these class examples. Do you guys ever look at them ever again after we do them? Okay, okay, good. Okay, as long as, because this is like your main form of notes. And then if you're starting to see how I'm doing this course, class examples, homework, quiz. Class examples, homework, quiz. And then once all that's done, review package. Review package with my key, a couple days of review, and then boom, test. And guess what? We're already half done this course. Because I flew through the stuff that I don't think is as important. Because I want you guys to do really well in 30-2. So I'm going to leave more time this year for the stuff that relates a lot more. Like the function stuff with the quadratics that's coming. We're going to go slower on that because I feel it's more important. Because I have you guys in the back of my mind, like I know that a lot of you are going to be in my 30-2, so I want to make sure that you have the skills for that. Do you think like doing the geometry for a triangle is going to help you for that? Well, you might not know because you don't know the curriculum, but anyways, let's keep rolling. This one's different. This one's a lot different. So, Carter Parker, the high school quarterback, during his high school football career, threw all these touchdowns. Okay? So, in game 1, he didn't have a good game. He didn't throw any touchdowns. What about in game 2? Game 2 he got, and so on. Okay, and so on. So what this is a frequency table. So frequency means how often. So how many times did he not throw a touchdown? 1, 2, 3. And then you can see right here 3 on the chart. How many times did he only throw 1 touchdown? And then you can count those up and you'll see that it's 7. And then and so on, you have 2 and then 3. So it's like a tally chart. It's like a tally chart. You guys know those? 3 would be this, 7 would be this. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a tally chart. Each time you get 5, you cross. Okay, so it says calculate to one decimal place, if necessary, the mean, median, and mode for the number of touchdowns per game. Oh my gosh. Let's just do the mode. Which one happened the most? 1 and 2. So the mode is 1 or 2. Now the median, like, this is going to be annoying, and that's why we have, imagine you had like 82 games for a hockey player. Would you do this by hand? No, you'd let a computer do the work. And that's where we're headed after this. We'll do it once by hand, and then we'll do the calculator. So, how many zeros? How many ones? Oh my gosh. My ones are starting to look like commas. And then twos. So then you got to find the middle. So how would you find the middle? You'd probably have to total these all up, eh? What's the total? 10 and 9 is 19. There's 19 data points. There's 19, yeah, 19 games would be a good way to put it. 19 games. Good contribution. So where's the natural middle for 19? Divide it by 2, you get? What's 19 divided by 2? So about 8? Because it's 8.5, right? So count by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's not 8, it's 9. Thank you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you got 9 that way and 9 that way. That's 18, so this one's the middle one, which is a 2. Was that a 1? Oh, that was my 1 that looked like a comma? Sorry, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the median is 1. And then the mean, I just have to add all those up and then divide it by 19. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 plus 14 is 21. 21 plus 6, 27 divided by 19. This is your average. Okay, now I'm going to just draw you a quick chart. So on the y-axis you put frequency, and on the x-axis you put number of touchdowns. Because if you look at your chart, the column for x is typically your first column, and the column for y is a frequency. It's how many times it happens. So you put 0, 1, 2, 3, because those are the only options. Touchdowns per game. And then the frequency, what's the highest frequency you have? 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you just do a little bar graph. Nice. Now, just by staring at that bar graph, where does most of his data lie? Near the middle. So you say most data near the middle. And that's not always going to be the case. What if all the bars were at the front? Or what if all the bars were at the back? It just so happens for his information, the most of the data happens near the middle. So the average should be near the middle. If all the bars were way over by 3, like if 3 was the biggest and then these guys would be small, the average would be closer to 3. So it's, can you look at the chart and then make an assumption about the data? And then we know we calculated 1.4. And then why do you think the average is 1.4 and not like 1.6? Because what's half of 3? 1.5. So why do you think it's closer to 1.4 instead of 1.6? Because the 1 and 2's kind of cancel each other out, don't they? How does this relate to this? This one has 3, this one has 2, so this one kind of wins. That's why the average is closer to the front. Because this guy wins a little bit compared to that one. These two essentially cancel out. That one wins a little bit. Now to do all this on the calculator. Okay, so it's the exact same problem, so you don't have to write anything. Okay? All right, so you're going to take the data. This data has to be entered into a list. So it's natural to hit the statistics button, stat, and then you want to hit edit. Do you see how mine has all this crap in it? That's because I've already done this before. So if you have crap in there, and everybody needs to know this, question? Stat, enter. Okay, bring it to me. So this is true for everyone because you're going to do a question and then move on to the next question. So a quick shortcut is second plus into the memory, and you might recognize this when you have to reset. You're going to hit number 4 and then hit enter. Okay, borrow mine for now. Who's coming around here? Okay, so once your lists are cleared, hit stat, edit. Damn, just sit next to something. And then in L1, you got to stay in L1. L1 stands for list 1. You just enter this data. So if I'm going to hit 10 and then down arrow. See the down arrow? So 9 and then down arrow. 8, down arrow, and so on till you get it all in there. I'm purposely going to make a mistake on one of them. See, I screwed this one up. You go back up there, and then you can hit delete if you want. But that really messes you up. So don't hit delete. You just write over top. Good. Delete will kill an entire row. So like say I screwed up 5, just rewrite over top of it. Just the worst thing that you can do is go right to the top. You see L1 there? Is delete that. If you delete that, L1, you have to like reset your calculator because then L2 comes up. And then when you try to do these stuff later, it screws up. So never delete this. Never delete these top columns. You have to reset. Okay. Now, do you see above the mode? What does it say above mode? So hit second mode. And you go back to your regular screen. And then you want to go stat. Hit the stat button. And then we're going to go and calculate. So you got to get to this tab. Hit the over button. And it's the first one. One variable stats. Why this is important? Because in Math 30-2, we have to use all these ones. 5, 6. We're going to be using these. Okay, all these ones here. EXP, LN. We're going to be using these in Math 30. But for now, we're just using the one variable statistics. And then you hit enter. Stat, arrow over so you're on the calculation tab. Enter, enter. Yeah, if you have the newer calculator, just hit enter again until it calculates it. Okay. On this calculator, you see this X bar? That's the average. Okay? X bar is the average. So the average of these numbers is 10.7. And if you scroll down, you can get the median. Okay? And if you scroll back up, you can get your average. Okay, so you can fill in the bottom here just by using the calculator. Okay, so for the average, 10.7. So you can put mu equals 10.7. And then the median is 10.5. And the mode, the calculator doesn't do the mode. It's like, sorry, dude. But what's the mode? 14, because it happens twice. 14 is the mode. Okay, let's do the touchdown one. The touchdown one is a little bit harder. So I just hit clear a bunch of times, and then I'm going to go second plus into my memory, second plus into the memory, and then you're going to hit number 4. Clear all lists. Second plus into the memory, and then clear all lists. Nice, man. Okay. Now back to those lists, so you got to go hit stat, edit. And now this time for the Carter Parker football one, you have to type in both columns. X column, Y column. Hitting down and over. Stat, edit. No worries. It's very natural because it's called stat and it's the very first option. All right, now this one's tougher because it's got 2 columns. So when you go stat calc, and then you hit number 1, if you have my calculator, this should just be sitting like this, right? If you have the nicer calculators, does it say like frequency list? You got to go to for the nice calculator, go to the frequency list, and you got to put L2 in there. L2 is right here above the number 2. You see L2 here? So for those of you on the nice calculator, you got to go second function 2 to get that L2 to pop up. And then you can hit enter. So if you have my calculator, you have to do what the book is telling you to do here. second 1, comma, second 2. Comma is above 7. You got to get the L1 and L2. You have to do the one variable statistics for both lists. That tells the calculator it's a frequency chart. And then we get the same average as we got when we did it by hand. The median was 1. The median is 1, just like we said in the notes. And the average is 1.42, just like Morley told me. And what does this n equals 19 tell me? N equals 19. Remember Harley told me 19 was how many games there were? So n is the number of data values. There's 19 data values. All zeros, ones, twos, and threes. 3 plus 7 plus 7 plus 2 is 19. Okay? So go ahead and do this. You can use a calculator. You can use it by hand. Okay? But like this one, I don't know. Maybe you want to do some stuff on the calculator. Okay, so try these out. Like this frequency, so for number 6, like go in the homework, go to number 6 right now and just write L1 and L2 frequency chart. Need one variable stats. Gotta use a calculator. I would. Does it in like 2 seconds.